Hello, fellow members of the Ice Court, and welcome back to the Motherland. Tzarina Katarin has returned. I do apologize that I'm a little bit behind. Work has been really busy for me. I've got a peer at work who is taking a position on a new team, so I've been having to learn a bunch of stuff that she takes care of so that I can try and help run that until we get a new person put in place, and so it's been a lot of work. It's made it difficult for me to have as much time to record, but I will be getting past it. It'll be all right, so hang in there. The Tzeentch campaign, someone asked about it as well. Yes, the Tzeentch campaign is going to continue. This one's going to continue. We'll have more coming too, so keep an eye out for it. I think I'm going to stream ogres. Like, they'll be my stream campaign, and that'll start on Tuesdays and Thursdays whenever closer to when the game releases, because that's when they drop the embargo for ogres. It's like right before the game releases, so we got a little bit of time before that's going to happen. So I'm going to do my best to cover absolutely everything. So hang in there. Like I said, I'm limited on time to record. I'm limited on how many videos I can make and all that kind of stuff because we're still under embargo. That drops soon enough. Some of you probably feel like there's no embargo because of just the constant bombardment from every YouTuber ever right now who has this. But yes, there is still an embargo. I know it's probably frustrating that we can't continue some of these things, and trust me, I want you all playing this game. I can't review the game, but I'm having a lot of fun with the game. Since CA gave me access to it, I've already put in like 70 hours on it, and I'm strapped for time. So what that should tell you all is that I'm having a very good time, right? I'm enjoying it enough that I'm going out of my way to play the game when I can. So, we get to put in, I hadn't gotten to show this yet. We get to put in an Adam here, and he is going to have an effect on corruption, which that's fine. I should have looked through the picks a little bit closer. Some of them buff growth, some of them buff control, other things like that. Some are a little bit of both, but anti-corruption is fine. It's basically a governor that you get to pick once you control an entire province. So we're gonna stick him in there, and he will start getting some unique dilemmas and other stuff that will help him level up. We picked up a spell there too, or an item. Take a look at it. With the snowflake pennant equipped, entities can't die while active. Breakable uses 1. Use on yourself? This one's actually a little better right now. Snowflake Pennant is more useful to me to suck in some winds of magic. The other one's using the Trickster Shard, which probably isn't super useful, so we could go to our Frost Maiden here, and we could throw that on her and just see what it does. See whether or not it's going to be any good. So let's give it a shot. We've got a couple of enemy armies down here. This is going to get dicey.
You know nothing.
I had one comment. It was only one comment. I'm not saying this to get onto this person, but that person's like, yeah, you know what? I see the normal settings and only on hard. I'm going to go watch a campaign where someone plays on very hard. Hey, feel free. I bet Legend of Total War is going to do one where he goes straight to legendary or very hard or something, but I'm going to tell you all this. If you think this is going to be some kind of steamroll, you are wrong. I have now played 2 Kislev campaigns, and I'm not saying this to be mean or like gaudy. I'm just saying you all have played 0 Kislev campaigns, so I have played one of them all the way through on normal, and even on normal, I had some challenge. I have played another one up to a turn about 160, which is basically all the way done, on the very same settings that I'm playing right now, and I was retreating, I was losing territory, and this is even while winning almost every battle I fight in a decisive manner. And you'd be like, Air, how can you win and lose? Because there are so many demons. I don't think you all realize how compromised Kislev's position is on the map. Give you a quick rundown. You're gonna have chaos coming in through this pass, non-stop. And getting out here and capturing this stuff, you never have your back against the wall, and you do not have enough money to afford the army and the garrisons to spread out here. You will get taken down. There will be 2, 3, 4 stacks of chaos coming at you at a time, all the time through this pass. They come through this pass if you come over here and capture Prague or these other areas. There is another pass over here where the Demon Prince starts, and they come down at you over here if you're Kostalton. There is no stop. And then whenever the bear roars and the rifts open, you're trying to fight off at these passes and keep them out while also sending an army through the rift to fight in the realms of chaos, and they're spawning behind you from the rifts. I'm telling you, Like, I was on like turn 120 and I already killed, I think, like 6 dozen chaos stacks. It is nuts, folks. It is absolutely bonkers. So if you all think that this is going to be some steamroller, it is not. And remember, I've got probably like 20 or 30 hours of practice now. I'm not the best player in Total War, especially when it comes to like min-maxing my way through campaigns. That's not what I do on my channel, right? So again, someone like Legend of Total War who does that, he's going to be much more well-suited to that type of thing, and he may already have a system works out that makes it look easy. But what I'm telling you is if you're playing this campaign in a somewhat normal fashion, right? If you're not sitting around looking for the cheese, it is going to be difficult. You are going to have a hard time. And what's funny about that is that CA marks this in the beginning as like a beginner campaign. This is not a good beginner campaign. Cathay is a great beginner campaign. Kislev is not. Now, if you want a lot of challenge and you're a very seasoned Total War player, then sure, Kislev is a great beginner campaign because it is going to be challenging. You are going to have a tough time with it, and you'll enjoy it. Speaking of, I want to go look at something real quick. There's a couple things I want to do. There's one of these that gives us more supporters when winning a battle. It's this one right here from Tor. I want to upgrade this one. I think it'll be useful for us. So I'm going to try and upgrade Tor. We caught up a little bit on these guys. They don't have a steady income of supporters coming in, whereas we do. It's still going to be a challenge to beat them in this race because the AI gets a lot of buffs. They get more armies than you. They get all kinds of benefits, okay? So let's get a few things moving. I would like to have some defenses, but I need something to provide some growth in this territory because right now we have nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and put this building in that gives me a little extra control and growth. Because over here we're trying to generate just as much devotion and supporters as we can. We are going to need some growth. We are very limited on what we can recruit, so we've got to come somehow beat this full stack of Norscans with only our relatively small army by comparison, so it's not going to be easy. Plus, we've got control issues already in this province, so again, you all think, oh, this campaign's going to be easy. This campaign is not easy. It's not easy. It is difficult and very challenging, actually, at a lot of points. Very challenging. So don't underestimate it. I think that it's a lot of fun. I'm going to enjoy playing it, and I hope you all enjoy watching it. But yes, it is difficult. What am I not seeing here? I must have looked at it wrong. Daz, Tor, Salik, and Urson, Saliak, and Urson. Oh, there should be one of these texts that upgrades it. Urza? Sally? Does... I'm guessing it's... Increases the melee defense of all armies, increases the attack of all units. Increases casualty replenishment. I was thinking one of these would give us more supporters. I guess it doesn't. That sucks. Income from all buildings and trade. Yeah. All right. So that's not really going to be all that useful to us. Increases casualty replen and growth and control. And it's just melee attack and defense. All right. I was going to focus on those, but never mind. That's not going to be terribly helpful. So, as a secondary, I'm going to go ahead and just put some points into my Ice Guard here. Though, to be fair, we're not going to have a lot of Ice Guard until later on, so that may be waste. We do get the improved Winds of Magic. Local recruitment capacity could be handy. There's times when we need to do some recruiting. There should be one for global recruitment capacity that we probably want to take a look at as well. I think I've searched it before. Now I just need to remember where it's at. Let's find the one for global recruitment. It may be a lot further down the tree. Yeah, right here. It's this Orthodoxy one, so it's a little too far down the tree. Because the global recruitment's also pretty handy whenever you are playing as Kislev. Diplomatic relations with the Empire would be nice to try and get those guys helping me earlier. Really nothing that would be wrong with that. It would take a number of turns to get to it. Tradable resources, trade income. Yeah, little Grom units, not going to help us early on here. There's the steps. Need Streltsy buffs right now. Corruption reduction in all provinces would be nice, but and I don't know, like there's a lot of options you can hear. I haven't seen one yet that's just like a dead giveaway for me. I will take this extra growth. It's small, but it's free growth.
Friends of Kislev,
all right, let's see what this guy wants. He wants a trade agreement. We'll definitely take him up on that. It's not going to give us much income, but it'll give us income. These two enemy armies are headed straight towards Kislev. In fact, one of them just sieged it. And they will win if they attack us, so we need to get down and help relieve Kislev, or we're just about to lose our campaign before it really even gets started. I'm going to go ahead and push up to here. I don't know if this army will attack me, but I got to hurry up and get down here before this dude just straight up barges right into Kislev and makes short work of me and my entire campaign. So we're about to have to win some big battles here really early, or else we are going to get absolutely knocked out. Let's go with upgraded Hailstorm here. Hailstorm is fairly good if you can get some units into a blob, and I think we can. Okay, they ran away. That's what I was hoping. You can see they've already got 2 armies here. Well, 1 in total. Ocean 30%. All right, we did get a Patriarch at Kislev if we pick this one, which I'm going to, because I want that Patriarch. Now this is dicey.
Defy chaos.
These guys took their siege off. I don't know where they're going to go next. They could run north and try and go to Volksgrad. It'd be an easy hit. I'm going to move just right down here on the road to Kislev, but I want to get within reinforcement range. Kislev. Now, they moved because I came near. They may not have wanted to fight me. I don't know exactly what their mindset is, but here's my guess. I think the AI pulled off that siege because I was coming and it didn't want to get caught with me and the reinforcements, so then it broke off and raided, thinking that if it just faced me alone out here, it'd have a pretty good chance, which it would. This would be a very dangerous army for us to face right now. So let's enter an ambush stance, see if we can get lucky, lure the Norscans back in, even if I don't ambush them, but we get an opportunity to fight them with the garrison and our own troops, then we can probably win. Pick up a couple of Zargard, an extra Patriarch, and step out of there. Now, they could just make a beeline for Volksgrad instead. That may very well be what we see them do. Let's take a look and find out. Our Ataman here has a dilemma going on, so we can improve recruitment costs there or reduce attrition when under siege. I'm going to take the reduction in attrition because the place is likely to come under siege in the future, whereas I don't know whether I'll be recruiting things there. I'd more likely be recruiting from Kislev or Prague. He did not take the bait. Dude's just straight up headed north, like he is not interested in me. So here's what we're going to have to do. Don't really have a lot of other options. We cannot face that army alone. And if I come out of... I better stay here close to Kislev in case he turns around and doubles back on me, which I think he could. We're going to go into the negative, but we don't really have a choice. We're going to have to stack up a couple more infantry units if we want to have any prayer of beating these guys on the open battlefield. So that's what we're going to do. I stack them up. I could, come into here. No, it takes 2 turns to get anything from there, so it's where I probably should have done that research to get more. We need to put some defenses in at Kislev because they're already coming and pushing a siege towards us. We did get the income. No, we just got the growth. This is what we need really bad then. We need this building for some income so we can afford a few more units. And I'm not going to go crazy spending all my money here, though. This one does give us more supporters and devotion. Kind of would be worth it right now, so I'm going to go ahead and spend that one. We got options over here to upgrade these settlements. I'm gonna wait just a minute. We're pretty low on money, and I don't want to get too cute here. My money. Okay, so that Norscan army is continuing to head north, and the armies from Prague are also headed that way. You can see we are about to head into the negative if I recruit any more units.
Follow your queen.
Hoping this will scare those armies back towards Prague, and then I can go up here and try and catch up with the Norscans. I should have enough units to be able to pull this off now. It's going to be tricky, but I think we can do it. Let's go ahead and do that research. Yeah, local recruitment capacity. Let's grab that. That could be handy. The armies from Prague did not run away. They actually headed further towards my territory. I don't know what choice we got but to push forward and win, so I'm gonna stay right here on the heels for these units because they're headed deep into my territory, so we're just gonna keep pushing in behind them. We got this building finished here, which gave us an extra 200 income. We can upgrade it and get 400, and it's definitely worth it because it's only 1275, so we need money desperately right now.
Ice powers me. My pulks are at your service.
What's up, bud? All right, he wants to pay us a little bit of money for military access. I'm down because I think he is at war with this Norscan faction that we're fighting. Yeah, see, he's raiding his way towards an easier settlement to conquer. These guys just made a big mistake here. They left one of their armies out in the open. So we're gonna pick him off. Gonna eat up a little bit of our movement points, but take what the AI gives you.
Victory by blade and thrust.
So that was certainly a mistake. Only 285 in the treasury, but I mean, the replenishment is minimal. Take the 285 gold. I mean, we're low on gold, so take what I can get, and I'm gonna get on the tail of these Norscans here. They could turn around and attack me here if they're feeling confident, and they might be.
Mistress of ice.
Go ahead and buff up our ice guard. So our Cassars and our ice guard will be fairly well leveled up here from what Tzarina Katarin is doing. I'm waiting on the war bear mount. I don't really want to. I might get the war horse, but I'm not
a gift from
like really feeling the need for the war horse right off the bat. The war bear is definitely worth it. And with this patriarch, we want to get here to Salyuk's lullaby because it's a healing aura. So we're gonna start with Ursun's roar, and then we'll open up that lullaby and get some healing ability in melee. It's very helpful for helping your lord or a group of units tank it out. They'll probably go attack Igorov, but we'll see for sure. They might have just assassinated my patriarch, actually.
The Motherland.
Nothing we can do about that. They're gonna win. So they just hit my settlement and moved on. I think they injured. Nope. I heard a noise and I had wondered if they had injured my patriarch, but they didn't succeed. Kislev is now gonna be better defended. You can see we've already got a lot more significant garrison there.
Defy chaos.
We gotta stay on the tail of these Norscans. They don't want to fight, obviously, because they're pushing to stay in front of me, which is weird because they honestly have a fair chance of winning. They get into a slug out with me right now. See what happens. It'd be great if they just turn around and fight, but I don't think they're interested. They ran. Leadership when fighting against Norscans. Yeah, they ran. How did they... They must have run around... This doesn't even make sense. Like, maybe he went... Yeah, he must have done this way. He did this way to get to Kislev. So here's what we're gonna do. They'll probably sack Kislev. But if I come up here and hide in the woods, they may not be as inclined to just run away immediately afterwards. There's some vampires down here, south too. It's not ideal. And up our income again with some investment in the grand market, which I believe we should do. Like I said, we need income bad right now. Income be necessary. Taking the land. Gonna check for any other easy income stuff here. Got the local recruitment capacity. That is indeed handy. Well, campaign movement range should be good, especially right now when we're chasing after Norscans nonstop.
Wisely, my people.
Let's see, we can... Good host, we get plus 20 growth. That's pretty great. Or minus 3 more corruption. I'm gonna take the growth. I mean, that feels like it's a little too good to pass up. Plus 20 growth is fantastic over the course of, you know, a ton of turns to help your... Oh, it worked. These suckers stepped backwards and they stepped right into the ambush. This is perfect. But here's our opportunity. I'll see you all on the battlefield. All right, Håkon Carlson.
The Motherland endures!
Woo, we got kitty tossed. So let me show you how I've deployed. Here is the ambush. You can see it's beautiful. You can see my troops on either side. I'm gonna try and collapse in on the Norscans. I did forget there are escape zones now in ambush battles. It's kind of a neat feature, but I also kind of hate it. And the reason I hate it is because the AI just basically refuses to fight you and runs straight for the escape zone. CA needs to make an update to this. Like right here, I'm gonna be collapsing into their units and destroying many of them, while they just simply ignore me and run for the escape zone, even though it would have been in their better interest to just fight and do the damage, I guess. I don't know, maybe if they get away with a unit or two, they feel like they can run away and make it worth their while. Let me show you what's happening though. My Ice Guard, my Winged Lancers, they're all going to be bringing it up here and just really pouring the pain on thick and trapping all of these units. My Cassar Spears deployed towards the rear of the column and took out all of their Marauder Horsemen. It was really quite simple, in fact. So what you should do, let me just lay this down here real quick. I know this isn't terribly cinematic. We'll get back to the cinematic, but I don't want to miss any. You should deploy your forces to block this escape zone, and then you can just massacre the enemy as they funnel in. That's the right way to deploy right now. I forgot it does it this way, and that's why I didn't deploy here, but that's what you should do, is just deploy in a V shape right here and just massacre them as they come running straight into your troops, beelining it for the exit. I screwed up, but hey, you'll get to enjoy some cinematics regardless of whether I screwed up here, but take the lesson from that, okay? For now, unless CA makes an update, she looks like a... she looks like one of those wind-up toys, like waving her wand at him. I love it. It's such a weird animation that they need to fix, but it is hilarious looking. All right, get him. Get him, Warhammer Elsa. So I'm using my magic here to slow all the enemy troops. We can catch up to them and start to take them out. I don't even know why she's not attacking him. She's right in the middle. Maybe she has a different attack order or something. But see, the enemy is getting absolutely rolled up here. We've routed all their troops, and now I'm just running forward with my Winged Lancers, using some magic here to slow these guys down, stop them. My cat finally stopped Håkon. But this dude's gonna be pretty tough in melee. The cat doesn't have much armor, and this dude's a decent melee combatant, so it's actually gonna sour against my my leopard pretty quick. So I'm gonna have to send in my witch to help out with that fight here soon. See my lancers digging into some combat here. Not really where I want them, but it's the only way I can stop these guys. We'll take some damage, but I'll be able to cause a lot of damage in return, and that's my main objective here. So I pulled the cat out of the fight and did a feint with my Ice Witch, who's now hiding back here. You can kind of see her behind that barrier, and then just open fire with my pistols. Devastating victory for us. It's going to be a terrible loss for Norsca, but, you know, we like that. I forgot that I should have, and I said it in the battle, I should have deployed closer to the escape zone. I forget that they have escape zones sometimes in ambush battles. Now, I actually don't like it because the AI just runs for the escape zone, as you saw. I think CA should make some adjustments to it. We could gather some extra coin, and coin is needed right now, and I don't think we're going to have another battle for a couple of turns, so I'm going to go ahead and do this Pardon Captives. So that'll be the destruction of that army, and Ice Court dominates. We must have really picked up some supporters for that. Yeah, we did. We got a lot of supporters from that one, and so did they from something there. We picked up a bunch, and now our buildings are providing more as well, so we're off to a good roll, or yeah, pretty good roll right now. Supporters when fighting a battle, we're gonna use this the next time we get close to a battle. We've also gotten a quest battle here for the Crystal Cloak, which we could probably go fight here soon. Then I want to look at some other things here too, as far as the objectives go. Hero comes, Crystal Cloak, carved from ice, second front, many provinces. Just to the Motherland, Razor Sack, build support. All right, we're good for now. Look at that, we just destroyed a big army of Besornlings, and look, they got a whole nother one already rolling down here. This is what I'm saying, like, oh, this won't be hard, those settings there. You all think it's not gonna be hard. You're kidding yourself. It will be hard. So now I got to turn back north and go deal with them.
Boss's orders.
However, I've still got this army in behind my lines that even though we just defeated, and this is something that just really, really irks me. This army was defeated. They were defeated right here in an ambush, mind you. Now, I know some of them got close to the escape point and some of them escaped, but look how far they were able to flee away from me after having been caught in an ambush. First of all, I don't think you, like, I get the escape point thing. Maybe the units that hit the escape point, which was like 2 of them, should have been allowed to escape, but a lot of these units never really made it to the escape point, I don't think. Anyway, frustrating stuff. Now this army's just gonna try and be a nuisance and raid and cause issues behind me, and so I gotta make a choice. Do I head north and lay an ambush near Volksgrad? Do I try and chase this army down? Our garrisons here are probably tough enough to handle this, you know, ragtag rabble. However, those units will get stronger if they're able to get in an encampment and stuff like that. So it becomes very frustrating, to say the least. Foryakova is probably the most out of the way. I think Igorov, I'm going to go ahead and improve Igorov so we can try and build some defenses there.
Ice Queen.
And then let's go ahead and head north.
March.
See if we can head off the Bastornlings heading in from this direction. Income is much better for now. We'll have even more here soon. We've got options here to build up more defenses. I'm going to save a little bit of cash here, though, and just play it safe. The growth is also helpful because we are going to need a lot of growth in order to get Kislev. We want to level up Kislev as quick as possible. And if you're wondering why, Era, why are you in such a hurry to level up Kislev? Well, eventually, again, when the rifts open, they spread chaos corruption. Eventually, when all the armies from chaos get here, they'll have 10, 12 agents all in your territory, and they're all spreading corruption. Their armies come in, and they're spreading corruption. When chaos corruption hits its max tier, you have no growth in your province. It's like minus 300 growth. I've gotten stuck late into a Kislev campaign and cannot get my settlement to a tier 5. Like, just can't do it. And it's frustrating. Like, it's very frustrating. And it keeps you from being able to recruit key units. And so, again, don't underestimate the difficulty of this campaign. There are more factors involved here than I think people were used to from past Total War games. I'm not sure I've ever seen chaos corruption in the past games completely freeze growth. Because it does here. Absolutely does. I'm going to go ahead and push forward a little farther. We need to get in here and lure these guys into combat, or just go face them, one of the two. I'm not going to spend too much more money this turn. It's going to cost a lot. I need to keep it just a bit in reserve in case we get forced into the negative from something. I like to have a little bit of spare cash to sit on, just as a cover my butt type of moment. Yeah, see, these guys are now in a raiding stance, and they're going to cost me 50 gold per turn. They may very well attack this settlement at Kislev. Kislev at this point probably be worthwhile to build up, but it's also frustrating because I'm limited on cash. It looks like the armies they had moving towards me have backed off. Kislev is safe for now. Got a fairly decent garrison, and we can improve that garrison further. It's going to cost me 1,700 coin.
The Tzarina.
Coin that I'm rather shy on at the moment. The fastest way to these guys is right here. Now, they could have laid an ambush for me, so there's a little bit of risk in this. I'm going to move up to the edge of their territory because we have got to put the push onto the Norscans or else they will never lay off. This is going to be challenging, though. They got a good army here, and it's going to be difficult, and they likely have another army somewhere up there as well. We need victory. We've got to get up here and gain some victory. I'm going to go ahead and risk this and build in Kislev. We'll see what happens. Those guys siege it. It'll just wrap up some money. But I think we can defeat them. Okay, they moved back north. They may be trying to get home. Yeah, he's trying to get home at this point, so we're not worried about him. They are up here recruiting more units, so that is problematic. We've got to find a weakness in their defenses here. So...
You'll die alone and frozen.
We don't want to just march straight towards them, because then they're going to get the garrison here. That would give them significant strength. At least I think it will. I'm not in range to go ahead and put a siege on them, so which means we're not only going to fight this plus whatever they have in the garrison, which is like another 5 units or so. No, more than that. We'd be fighting a pretty handy stack there, and they even have ice trolls in said stack. I wouldn't like that, so what I'm going to do, and we're going to take a little bit of corruption, or, sorry, we're going to take a little bit of attrition.
Onward. Never
Oh, look at
falter.
this. This is our opportunity. Let's push this way.
Follow the frost.
See, this dude's already up here. He may, in fact, take that settlement, and then that'll give us an opportunity to know we're at
I'll
least safe
turn
from
your
this side.
blood to
And then we
ice.
can push the Norscans here, so... Let's see what he does. If he doesn't take that settlement, I will. Not. There is a whole nother... Yep. See, this is what I was worried about. They had another army around here that we... No, that's the army from the settlement. They took off. These guys are making mistakes.
Kislev endures.
They are making mistakes.
My rule.
Let's make them pay for it. So I'm gonna come up here and snag their settlement. Hopefully that'll turn them around, because then their next settlement is gonna be at risk. This one we're gonna get allied, help with. So I'm gonna quick save it just in case they try and kill off my single entities or other stuff like our snow leopard.
Kislev never
That one's not
falters.
really worth fighting though, because we're gonna obviously get a more interesting battle here
My
soon.
frozen kingdom expands.
Now we took one of their settlements, so this is great. This, like I said,
They are
should get
one
their attention. It's the capital up here. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the palisade first. You're very short on cash. We need defenses just as quick as we can put them in to make it harder for the AI to just come marching right back across us. I'm gonna do this reassuring presence. We're gonna need to
With
fight
this, I
against
guard
corruption, and
Kislev.
reassuring presence will help a lot with that. And now get up here, and I really want to unlock Hawks of Miska. It's a very nice vortex that doesn't damage friendlies and gives you the ability to bust up infantry blobs without hurting your own units. It's a very useful ability, and we're gonna get the improved Saliak's Lullaby here. So now we're gonna have good healing in our battles as well. So a couple of very important upgrades for us. I think these are great upgrades to get us ahead in the campaign. Again, people may have other theories. You may see things that end up looking better. Those guys did not. Yeah, so see, we got enemies coming this way, but again, I think they're gonna have a difficult time busting into Kislev. It's walled, and I have a decent garrison. Oof, we are so short on cash. We need cash. Our best way to get cash right now is to fight. Right now, there is high corruption here.
Endures.
That's Chaos Undivided corruption, and that corruption is going to cause us attrition.
Ice Queen of Kislev.
I'm gonna step
Defy
out.
chaos.
Keep enough of my
Follow the
movement.
queen.
Yep, there they are. I'm gonna take a risk here. I'm gonna see what happens.
The Tzarina.
I'm not really in the best of ambush spots. It doesn't really get any better there. They're gonna be recruiting this turn anyway. Let's go ahead and just
I will permit.
replenish for a turn, and then we're gonna try and catch this army in an ambush. Think about this one. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some buildings in here for some cash. I am like literally dying for some cash. These ones are better. I don't even have enough income to build it. I need 1,000. I'm gonna skip the buildings for now. Fighting is gonna get us cash. It's also gonna get us supporters, especially for fighting against chaos. I'd love to focus against chaos, but I'd also love to take control of Prague. It's a nice settlement to have, and you can earn some very good income off of it.
Born to rule.
I don't know if these guys would challenge me on open ground. They might. They've got a pretty decent army. It would certainly be a fight for us. They got skin wolves.
Denied.
They got berserkers.
One land.
Could I hold them back? The skin wolves would be a challenge to hold back. But I have a good gun line.
This land is no longer pure.
Tempted to just lay an ambush here.
We must go unseen.
What are their movement points gonna look like? Yeah, they could reach us.
Kislev endures.
It'd be better if we were just a hair closer to them.
Move! I command it!
Let's enter the ambush. See if maybe these guys will make a run for their former settlement. That would be huge if we could get them. Yeah, these guys are raiding us. They're gonna hurt my income even more right now, which is definitely not what I need. Defenses are very nice in these settlements, but we are also very hurt for money. It's not much, but I go for some income here. It's time for us to look at some more tech. Pain line of sight could be handy.
A gift. For all the motherland.
Come on. Come out and get ambushed. Come on out here and get ambushed. Get out of here. Get out of here. Ah, they didn't do it. They didn't bite.
Mistress of ice.
And it's because they foiled our ambush there.
We are one people.
And I'm gonna move towards them. I'm not... Am I though?
Die beneath the heel of Kislev's boot.
Gotta think how to get these guys. If I risk going another turn without...
Defy chaos.
I guess I'll just go another turn and see if I can... Let's do replenish troops here. I'm gonna go another turn and see if they'll pop out of their settlement. We're getting raided twice, or 3 times now, so... Or no, twice. So we're definitely losing some income. These guys are now headed towards my squishy settlement, so this is bad. I was hoping they'd get locked onto Kislev. We've got to deal with these Norscans here.
Step too far.
If I attack them in their settlement, they're going to be extraordinarily difficult to beat. In fact, I don't even know if it's possible. It's already going to be difficult for us to win this one. However, they do have a fair number of ranged units. I don't know what the rest of their army looks like. Is that infantry? Is it skin wolves? If it's skin wolves, that'd be a problem. Be a pretty severe problem, actually, so I just don't know what we're up against.
None shall question me.
It's like we're... Need defenses back here.
It's treason to command me.
Will defenses really help me against these guys right now? Go ahead and build them. I don't have the money to build them, no. We don't really want to build anything right now because it's just going to get attacked. Might as well sit on our money. Yeah, they're already sieging Kislev, so we're going to have to turn around and deal with their enemies there. Wish those idiots would just take a peace treaty. I have no interest in fighting other Kislevites right now, but they're just not having it. There is some tech, I think, that helps a little bit. Relations, other Kislevites, but... I don't quite remember exactly where it was at. That one's with Empire. I thought there was some tech that helped with it. See if we can find some here. No, nothing immediately available. That's too bad. Yeah, it's frustrating because, like, Chaos is invading. You got all this crazy stuff going on. You think Ursun's alive, and, like, all the other Kislev factions hate... Like, this one hates you. You just almost can't get them off your back. Unless you beat their army down first.
I'll turn your blood to ice.
These guys may have just laid an ambush for me.
Spread our orthodoxy.
There's a good chance we're going to step into an ambush here.
Die beneath the heel of Kislev's boot.
This stinks. But
They
could have run off towards... They did. What a bunch of clowns. What a clown show. Yes. Yes. So we're just going to take this.
The shield of the old world.
I don't know what these guys were thinking.
The motherland
Thanks for the
grows.
settlement.
Denied.
They're in trouble now. And here's what I'm going to pull next. We've got a lot of enemies in our lands, so I'm going to flick this right here on. So I'm going to do the Ursun one. It's going to take up a bunch of my devotion. I should have used it right before we took the settlement. We'd have gotten extra supporters. But we're going to use it, and it causes attrition to anybody in my territory. So this is going to start taking its toll on those who are my enemies in the territory, like C right here. So they're going to start suffering attrition. That's what we want. So even if they win a battle here, we're going to start wearing them down with this invocation of the Motherland. Got a little bit of cash off that. Again, we're going to want defenses up here for sure. We're also going to want to build these buildings to get more supporters. Devotion, we're way ahead now, though, because we've been fighting these battles against Chaos, so that is really, really handy. And that helps us a ton because, oh yeah, this is where we get the extra diplomatic relations with Kislev. So the more of this we get, the more likely we could get into peace with these guys and focus on Chaos anyway, which would help us in that race. We don't really want to fight the people from Prague right now. We're just kind of stuck with it.
Tzarina.
I'm gonna finish this reassuring presence because I really want to get out here to lightning strike quartermaster. We need more cash. We need the ability to single out armies, like if they're moving together. Here's our Hawks of Miska. I don't have the money to do what I want in Igorov right now. Okay. These guys are just gonna try and get out and raid me. We've turned the... I'm not gonna have to worry about attrition anymore. I'm gonna move up closer to these guys and get into an ambush stance. We're gonna see if we can catch them. This would make for a great battle right here. Okay, we can see the rest of their army. Decent bit of infantry. They do have 3 skin wolves. However, they're gonna start this attrition process, and that's gonna be handy for us. These guys start fighting battles against Chaos, then they'll start rocketing up here. But right now we're making more income per turn than they are in terms of supporters. So that's a good place to be in. I'm gonna end a turn without building anything because we are frighteningly low on cash. I need to win some battles. Battles are a great way to get cash. Oh, they didn't move, and they're in a forced march stance for some reason. This is just, this is great. So here's our battle that I've been wanting to show you all anyway. This is a pretty good opportunity for us to win. These guys have been suffering some attrition. They're down several skin wolves each unit. I will see you all on the battlefield. I'm gonna get this Lichbone pennant though. I'm gonna put magic attacks on one of our units and spell resistance. Maybe here on the kitty cat. See you there. Eirik Torkusen, famous Norscan captain. Famous for what? I don't know. I just made him famous, so just deal with it, folks. Marching into this Kislevite lands. Boy, these lands are absolutely beautiful. Look at the Motherland. We're gonna make it even more beautiful once we capture more of it. But first, we gotta win a major battle here against the Norscans, and they are out in force. They've got marauders with great weapons. They've got marauders. They got marauder hunters. They got skin wolves. We've got all kinds of stuff. Norscan ice wolves. Yeah, so we've got a lot to face off here, man. These units look good in Warhammer 3. I like it. Yeah, they got a lot of units. My forces deployed on the back side of this hill, and knowing that I rely heavily on precursor pistol attacks from my Cassars, or armored Cassars, I should say. My standard Cassars are the ones with the spear and bow in the back, but my armored Cassars rely heavily on that precursor pistol. So I decided to fall back, because if you look at the ground in front of where I'm going to, pretty wide open, it's going to allow me to get a lot of good shots before the enemy gets to me, and I'm planning on using my ice magic. And I have an army ability right now, too, that also does additional slowing, and then you can see I've put my flank next to this terrain here, which is going to be impassable. So the AI is moving towards me because I have a ranged advantage, even though I attack them, and I'm hoping that terrain will give me some advantage. So you can see they are far off. I'm gonna fast forward for a second because I need those units to get to me, but before we do, let's take another close-in look here, because this is a cinematic campaign. Let's look at all the units. These are my armored Cassars here. These are not the great weapon version, so they don't deal a ton of damage as far as weapon damage, but they are a far more defensive unit because they have a shield. These are the Cassars here with spears. So they fire, and then they have a really high, like if you look at their damage, I'll go ahead and show you this while we have time. Their weapon strength isn't great, but their melee defense is very good. So they have excellent melee defense for an archer, so they can hold out a little longer, and although their attack and strength is kind of crappy, because of the bonus, it ends up being decent. Like, so they can hold out decent in a melee, especially against large units like skin wolves or marauder cavalry. Then we've got our Patriarch here, really cool looking unit model. Right now he's nothing special. You can buff these guys up, give them war bears, give them all kinds of abilities, and they're really nice. Like, I would kind of compare them to a warrior priest for the Empire. Like, they're there to buff your units and to help you hold out longer to fight. They can do some healing and other cool stuff. These are our Cassars with great armored Cassars with great weapons, I should say. They have a nice cudgel mace thing there. Very cool looking units. Now let's take a look. We got some combat going on over here. Norsca couldn't quite negotiate the terrain well, so this is going to work out to my advantage as the AI is going to stumble into pistol range early. This dude is just asking to get shot, and indeed he did get shot. So you can see the armored Cassars are just brutal with their precursor weapon. It's already up at 31 missile strength. And they have about, I think, 6 volleys to start with. I'll have to look and see exactly how many. Yeah, 6 volleys that they start with right now. And they can potentially get more, I think, later, but that's a lot of damage across 6 volleys. And they can fire relatively quick. They usually almost get 2 of them. We can see I can use my ice magic here from Katarin to slow these guys down. I'm gonna hold them in range. And then I have another spell here that I'll kick off here in a moment that can increase the range. It comes from my Frost Maiden. So I'll increase the range on a bunch of these units. So if you combine that ice magic of slowing with the increased range and accuracy, and really make you deadly, and Kislev really needs to do its damage from range. They're not terrible in certain melees. Like, my armored Cassars are gonna do decent against these Norscan infantry, except for like Berserkers and some of the worst ones, right? But you really do your damage from range as Norsca, so don't forget it. And your Ice Guard have a Frostbite effect that slows. Tzarina Katarin has a wide area of effect spell that slows. And with this Invocation of the Motherland that I use, you also get additional slowing. And remember that you can stack 2 Lore of Ice characters in an army if you want, or even 3. And you can get even more slowing. So Kislev is all about battlefield control and missile damage, right? That's when you're gonna do the best. And that's why later in this campaign, you're gonna see me make a switch over sleds and guns and Ice Guard. You cheese with the sleds and you shoot from range and lure the enemy back into the waiting arms of your Streltsy and Ice Guard, and then you just mow them down while they are bogged down and slow. And that is the way that you're going to be effective later in the game as Kislev. Now there's also some good damage magic that comes with Tempest and Ice, and they're useful, especially in the right scenarios, but on the open battlefield, I find their magic best for slowing. Look what we're doing to these guys. I've got a double slow going on here. Look how slow they are. It is painful. They're gonna get absolutely shredded by my missiles. Let's get you all some close-up firing here from the armored Cassars. See them firing their precursor pistols. They're getting charged a little bit here too. They're gonna hold out all right. My Ice Witch is gonna hold off these skin wolves. See that precursor attack, it's just devastating. On the other flank, the enemy charged in with some of their ice wolves, and I've used my winged lancers and my cat to stop them over there. So the skin wolves and the lancers and my snow leopard are stopping them on this flank and pushing them back, while their marauder horsemen are being faced by my Cassars, which with their spears are definitely more than a match for those light horsemen in melee and at range. So we've got a good thing going here. There's my Hawks of Miska that I mentioned. I used it on one of their Marauder Hunter units and did some damage to them. It does move, so it won't be perfect, but we did get some nice damage done. You can see here to this Marauder Hunter, did a lot of work on them. And at this point, we've basically got the victory secured. The enemy lord, I attacked him with my Ice Guard, because the Ice Guard are very good against infantry-sized targets, and they tore away at his hit points, which helped finish this battle faster as well. You see Tzarina Katarin in there, helping to stop him as well. Getting some nice animations going on with her. She's definitely going full Elsa at the moment, spinning around on her pillars of ice. This is another good thing too, if you wait a second after the battle's ended, you get even more kills as Kislev if you still have volleys and archer volleys left. You can see we killed their lord and we took out a whole bunch of their other units. By just waiting a second when the battle ends, you can mow down a whole bunch more troops, be even more effective. Absolutely savaged those Norscans, and that's the way you've got to do this. With the Kislev, with Kislev, you cannot afford to lose battles or even go Pyrrhic victory. You need to be winning big, and that was a big win. I'm gonna pardon the captives. I would like the replenishment, but we don't need it right now. We're gonna pardon them, take that extra 1,200 coin, which is really what we need at the moment. We definitely need the coin.
Tzarina Katarin.
So right now we're not really doing a lot of replenishment. That's fine. This army is minor. We do have some rebels popping up behind us here. We do have some defense against them, but not at that settlement. So that's gonna be a bit of a problem. We'll deal with that problem when it comes. We've also got Skaven traversing through our land. I'm not at war with them at the moment, but that is Skaven, so for how long that stays that way, we shall see. Until then, we have enemies at Kislev, and I'm left with some options. We could go see what's going on at Prague, let them attack our minor settlements because it's not much of a loss to me income-wise. And if we let this distraction get us into Prague, that could be quite good. This settlement is just not likely to be able to defend itself. So that's going to be a bit frustrating.
One land.
Push these guys out of the way, hopefully get them to stop raiding on us. Let's check out our next tech option here. We don't have war sleds yet, so we could unlock a unit for the Ice Court, but we don't really need to yet because we can't afford them. Missile resistance for archers, horse archers, and Kosovite dervishes. We don't have any yet, nor can we really afford any, so not a big deal. We can improve our Snow Leopard. Leadership for Zargard, which we don't have. Leadership and defense when fighting against Norsca. That certainly seems relevant. And then, yeah, there's an income from trade from there on out, so that certainly seems relevant at the moment. And we're going to probably fight a fair bit of Norsca for a while. Now, Tzarina Katarin has unlocked the Warbear mount. This is great. She is now going to have significantly more power in combat. And now we're going to put this last one here. You can pick whichever one you like, really. I'm going to pick Fervent. And then that way I can open up these next pieces over here. Take a look at our Frost Maiden. Our Frost Maiden does have access to a horse if we want it, but I'm going to wait and just go Warbear as well. We probably have plenty of skill points to be able to divvy it out, but right now unlocking more magic is probably more useful. I'm going to unlock the upgraded version of Hawks of Mishka, which does increased damage. And then let's go here to our Patriarch and pick his next skill that we want to go to. Replenishing the troops is always great. Then let's go to Icon of Strength. His weapon strength is really crappy, but once you upgrade it, it's pretty decent. And they can turn into fairly tanky units. Now, we finally have a little bit of coin in our pockets. Let's spend it wisely. We've got a few options. That's interesting with dwarves in my land.
Do not be intimidated by the
a lot of non-aggression pact with these guys.
They wish only to die in battle.
I'm gonna take the balance. Man, that's a lot of gold to balance that right now. I don't want to do that. They'll come around. I would love to... They're at war with that Skaven faction and some Lamian Sisterhood. We don't want to mess with them right now. So I could offer to join a war to get them on my side, but we don't want to join any wars. But eventually, hopefully we can get Karak Kadrin to join up with us and do some trade with them as well. We don't need to send them a warning because I want to risk fighting ogres. They can trespass all they like right now. What to build? So do we build at Kislev? Do we build in the small settlements? And we need cash bad. I'm gonna put in some income. A bit of a risk to put this in at Igorov, but I don't think this army is gonna last long enough to get up and challenge me at Igorov because I'm gonna head. Am I gonna head towards them though? I feel like we should just maybe put some defenses in at Igorov. And then build up Fort Yakova. So if we put a little more defenses on those two, then we can maybe beeline it for Prague. And while their main army is away, maybe, hopefully they don't have a secondary army there. They probably do. But if they don't have a secondary army there, we can maybe get into their capital while they take a minor. Oh, crap. Urson's roaring, which means we don't have a lot of turns before we're gonna... No, he already did. The rifts are here.
Death rattle felt across the dimensions.
Fantastic.
Its arcane energy rips across the mortal plane, creating rifts and scarring the world with gateways into the Chaos realms.
Fantastic. So things are about to get dicey. So eventually there's going to be enemy armies coming out of these rifts. They're going to spread corruption everywhere, which is going to lead to rebellion, which is going to lead to a loss of growth. It is going to get ugly. Fortunately for me, most of my income is coming from Kislev, and Kislev is pretty well defended. Here's what I'm actually going to do. I'm not going to spend the money on these minor settlements. They're likely to get raided out by these guys anyway, or possibly other armies that come through. Not a good spend at the moment. What we will spend money on is improving the defenses of Kislev, because I have to hold it at all costs. Now, next step. We are going to go ahead and enter the realm of chaos. It's gonna be a bit dicey, folks, because we're kind of underarmed when it comes to entering that realm. I would like to have a little more capability. See, we got 6 infantry. Ice Guard double as infantry. I'd like to have a couple more of these Kassar spears. So we could try to go enter that portal at Kislev. So I think I'm gonna just truck it this way. I'm just gonna ignore all the minor settlements.
Move!
They take
I
them.
command.
I guess it gives me something to do when I get home. We're gonna lose some income. There's not much I can do about it. But I'm gonna head back towards Kislev, recruit a couple of Kassars with spears, and then we're gonna enter this portal. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because here's another challenge with the Kislev campaign. We're gonna just kind of have to let these guys ravage. It's gonna suck. It's not much I can do about it right now. If we don't enter the realms of chaos and get ahead, these other factions will. And then when they get ahead, much like in a Vortex campaign, you have an opportunity to stop them, but you have to keep an army there and keep watching. So if they get ahead of you with souls, and then they try and make their way to the Forge of Souls, you basically then have to dedicate an army parked at the Forge of Souls to keep these guys out, or else you lose the campaign. And that's not very great. So we don't want to let these guys get ahead of us, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a beeline for the Realm of Khorne. And it's because Khorne is relatively straightforward. You go in there, you fight some, you get a soul, you get out. And we can get back in a relative hurry. We could probably do the same thing with the Poxmakers of Nurgle. So either one of the, with the Realm of Nurgle. We could probably go into Khorne or Nurgle relatively quick in and out and get back and start taking care of our land again. So I think that's gonna be the objective. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this episode. As you can see, things are gonna get dicey. Again, don't be fooled by the difficulty settings here. Now, will it be even harder on the other ones? Yeah, sure. And if players can do that, more power to them. Man, it's tough. But like I said, this one's gonna be different. This isn't gonna be our typical campaign steamroll you all see where I just take everything and break out. I think you're gonna like this, so stay tuned. Heir of Kislev signing out, and the Tzarina and I will see you next time